Most gardeners think digging improves their soil. It does not, it resets it. For years, I tilled my garden every spring because that is what you are taught to do. The soil looked soft, dark, and ready. It felt like progress. Every book said the same thing: turn the soil, break up compaction, mix in amendments. And at first, it seemed to work, but the same problems kept coming back. The soil got harder between seasons, not softer. Weeds came back faster every year. By midsummer, the ground would crust over and water would start running off instead of soaking in. No matter how much I tilled, I kept ending up in the same place, so I tilled again and again, until I realized something most gardeners never question. The tilling was not fixing the problem. It was creating it. Because a garden is not just soil and plants, it is a living system. And every time you dig, you interrupt that system. The year I stopped digging was the year everything changed. The soil stayed soft, weed pressure dropped, plants grew stronger, and the work required to maintain the garden went down instead of up. In this video, I am going to show you what tilling actually does to your soil, why it creates the exact problems it is supposed to fix, and the no-till method that replaces it with something far more stable. And stay to the end, because the final step is what makes no-till work immediately, instead of taking years to show results. To understand why tilling hurts your garden, you have to understand what soil actually is. It is not dirt. It is a living structure. In a single teaspoon of healthy soil, there are more microorganisms than people on Earth. Bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and nematodes, all working together to break down organic matter and feed plant roots. The most important part of that system is invisible: fungal networks. These microscopic threads extend outward from plant roots and act like an underground extension of the plant itself, pulling in water and nutrients from areas roots cannot reach. Plants connected to these networks can access up to 10 times more soil volume than plants relying on roots alone. And this is where digging does the most damage. Every time you till, you shred those networks. You break them apart faster than they can rebuild. The biology does not disappear, but the structure is gone, and rebuilding it takes months. During that time, your plants are cut off from their most efficient nutrient delivery system, which is why tilled gardens often need more fertilizer. Not because the soil is poor, but because the system that feeds the plants has been disrupted. Healthy soil also contains channels created by roots, worms, and microbes that allow water and air to move through it. Earthworms create permanent vertical channels that improve drainage for years. A single earthworm processes its own weight in organic matter every day and deposits nutrient-rich castings throughout the soil. Tilling destroys those channels and kills or displaces the worms that made them in one pass. The soil looks loose at first, but without structure holding it together, it settles, compacts, and forms a hard surface much faster than undisturbed soil. This is the cycle most gardeners get stuck in. Tilling creates compaction, then we till again to fix it. And every time we do, we reset the system instead of building it. Then there are weeds. Most weed seeds are already in your soil, dormant and waiting for light. They can sit buried for years without germinating. When you till, you bring thousands of them to the surface and expose them to light all at once. That is why freshly tilled soil explodes with weeds within days. You did not plant those weeds. You triggered them. No-till gardens have significantly fewer weeds over time because the surface stays undisturbed and dormant seeds stay buried in darkness where they cannot activate. No-till gardening flips the entire approach. Instead of disturbing the soil, you build it from the top. The method is simple, but the results compound over time. If you are transitioning from a tilled garden, you can start with one optional step: a single pass with a broad fork to gently loosen the soil without flipping or shearing it. A broad fork pushes straight down and lifts, which relieves compaction without destroying the structure that is beginning to rebuild. If your soil is already workable, skip this entirely. From there, everything happens on the surface. Add 2 to 3 inches of finished compost across the bed. Do not dig it in, just lay it on top. The biology in the soil will pull it downward over time. Earthworms, insects, and microbial activity incorporate that organic matter far more effectively than you can with a shovel. Then cover that with 2 to 3 inches of mulch, straw, shredded leaves, or wood chips. This layer protects the soil, holds moisture, regulates temperature, suppresses weeds, and feeds the biology as it slowly breaks down. Then plant directly through it. Push the mulch aside, set your transplant into the compost layer or sow your seeds, and pull the mulch back around the base, leaving a small gap at the stem. That is it. No digging, no turning, no mixing. Each season you repeat the same 2 steps. A fresh layer of compost in spring, a fresh layer of mulch on top. The soil builds from the surface down, exactly the way it builds in nature. Forest floors are never tilled. Prairie soils are never turned. The most fertile soils on Earth were built by organic matter accumulating on the surface and biology pulling it downward over time. No-till gardening simply mimics that process in your backyard. And this is the part most people underestimate. The soil does the rest. Worms pull organic matter downward. Microbes break it apart. Fungi reconnect their networks. Old roots decompose and leave behind channels for new roots to follow. Each season, instead of resetting the system, you are feeding it. The results showed up faster than I expected. The first season after switching, watering frequency dropped because the mulch held moisture far longer than bare-tilled soil. Weeding dropped dramatically because the surface was never disturbed, and the soil felt different. It stayed soft through the entire season instead of crusting over by July. By the second season, I started seeing earthworm activity I'd never seen in that garden before. Castings on the surface, channels visible when I moved the mulch aside. The soil was darker, held together in crumbles instead of dust, and plants rooted faster after transplanting because the fungal networks were intact and waiting for them. By the third season, I reduced my compost applications because the soil was generating its own fertility through the biological cycles I had stopped destroying. The biggest hesitation people have with no-till is time. They assume it takes years to work. It does not, if you start the right way. This is the step I promised at the beginning. Sheet mulching. If you are starting with compacted soil, a weedy patch, or even a lawn you want to convert into a garden bed, sheet mulching lets you build a no-till bed from scratch on top of whatever is already there. Lay down a single layer of cardboard or thick newspaper directly on the existing surface, grass, weeds, and all. Overlap the edges by 6 inches so nothing can grow through the seams. On top of that, add 4 to 6 inches of a mix of compost and aged organic matter, leaves, straw, garden waste. On top of that, add 2 to 3 inches of finished compost as your planting layer. Then mulch the surface with straw or shredded leaves. The cardboard smothers the existing vegetation and breaks down over a few months. You can plant directly into the top compost layer immediately. Transplants go right in, and seeds can be sown into the compost surface. By the time roots reach the cardboard layer, it has softened enough for them to push through into the native soil below. Within 1 season, you have a fully functional no-till bed that holds moisture, suppresses weeds, and builds fertility from the surface down. I used this method to convert a section of compacted clay along my back fence into a productive growing bed. I laid the cardboard in fall, added the layers, and planted into it the following spring. That bed produced a full harvest in its first season, and it has improved every year since without ever being tilled. The soil underneath the original cardboard layer is now softer and more biologically active than soil in other parts of the garden that was tilled for years. And once you see it working, something shifts in how you think about the garden entirely. It stops behaving like a project you have to constantly fix and starts behaving like a system that improves on its own. Because once you stop digging, Your garden stops resetting and starts compounding. Every season builds on the one before it instead of starting over from scratch. And that is the real power of no-till. Not that it is easier, although it is. Not that it saves time, although it does. But that it turns your garden into something that gets better the longer it runs. If you want to see how no-till fits into a complete garden system that manages pests, builds soil, and produces continuously, watch the garden system video next. No-till is the foundation that makes the whole thing work.